All right, hello and welcome. Today we're going to build a toolkit, but this isn't for your garage, it's for your mind. We're going to dive into psychological resilience, and here's the key. It's not some magic trait you're either born with or you're not. Nope, it's actually a set of practical, teachable skills. So let's get right into it and look at the foundation of this whole thing. So let me kick things off with a big question for you. Think about it. Is your mind something that's, well, fixed? Like a statue carved out of stone? Or is it maybe more like a muscle? Something you can actually train and strengthen and build over time? How you answer that is, honestly, the key that unlocks everything we're about to talk about.
And your answer to that question, well, it points directly to the first and, I'd say, most critical tool in our mental toolkit, and that is your mindset. Now, this isn't just about thinking positive. It's way deeper. It's the core belief system that dictates how you see your own abilities and your potential to grow.
I mean, have you ever caught yourself saying something like, I'm just not a numbers person? Or maybe, I'll never be a good public speaker? We all do it, right? But those little phrases, they're actually huge signals. They tell you exactly what kind of mindset you're working with in that moment.
And this is really the core of Stanford professor Carol Dweck's groundbreaking research. She basically found there are two fundamental mindsets. There's the fixed mindset, where you believe your intelligence and talents are just static. You've got what you've got. And then there's the growth mindset, which is the belief that you can develop your abilities through hard work and dedication. Think about it. One mindset sees failure as a final judgment, while the other sees it as a starting point.
And that right there is the crucial difference when the rubber meets the road. If you have a growth mindset, a really tough challenge isn't something to be scared of. It's an invitation to get better. A setback isn't some final verdict on who you are. It's just useful feedback for your next try. It completely flips the script on how we experience learning and adversity.
Okay, so we've got our foundation, mindset. Now, let's start building on top of that with the next set of tools. These are more like the in-the-moment tactics, the skills you need for managing your emotions day in and day out. The fancy term for this is emotion regulation, but all it really means is that you have some say in your emotional life, right? You're not just a passive passenger strapped into some emotional roller coaster. You can actually learn to be the one operating the controls.
And research points to two really different ways people do this. The first is called expressive suppression. You know what this is. It's bottling things up, putting on a brave face while you're just twisting in knots on the inside. But then there's cognitive reappraisal. And this one is a total game changer. It's all about changing how you think about a situation before that emotion gets its hooks in you.
And what the science shows is that these two paths lead to totally different places. If you make a habit of suppressing your emotions, it's linked to more stress, more anxiety. It can even mess with your memory. But reappraisal, that's linked to things like greater life satisfaction and less depression. And it doesn't even take the same mental toll. So yeah, which strategy you choose really, really matters.
So look, managing those tough emotions is obviously super important. But let's ask a different question. What if resilience isn't just about weathering storms? What if it's about learning how to harness the wind?
And that brings us to the next piece of the puzzle, the fuel for our toolkit. This is all about your character's strengths. And get this isn't about fixing what's wrong with you. It's the complete opposite. It's about figuring out what is most right with you, your best, most authentic qualities, and then actually putting them to work.
And the cool thing is, research has given us a super simple but really powerful way to do this. It's just 3 steps. First, you identify your top 5 signature strengths. Things like creativity or curiosity or kindness. Second, just pick one of them. And third, for 1 week, find a new way to use that one strength every single day. That's it. And this simple exercise has been shown again and again to boost happiness and lower symptoms of depression. It's incredible.
And get this, the effect doesn't just stop with you. It's like a ripple effect. Research suggests that your happiness can actually spread to your friends and your friends' friends and even their friends. We're talking up to 3 degrees of separation. So your efforts to be happier can literally make the people around you happier too.
So, okay, we've got our mindset, our emotional regulation tactics, and using our strengths. But here's the real question. How does all this stuff hold up under, extreme pressure? To find out, we're going to look at a pretty amazing case study from one of the most high-stakes environments on the planet.
I'm talking about the U.S. Army's Master Resilience Training Program, or MRT. Think about it. The psychological toll of modern combat is immense. So, the Army realized they couldn't just hope their soldiers were resilient.
They decided they had to actively build resilience, and they created a whole curriculum based on the exact principles of psychology we've been going over.
And if you look at what they teach, it's like a perfect reflection of our toolkit. They teach self-awareness and self-regulation, that's our emotion management. They teach character strengths, we just talked about that. And they teach things like optimism and mental agility. Well, that is a growth mindset in action. So this isn't just some abstract theory. For them, it's basically a field manual for the mind.
And the Army's own definition of resilience really says it all, right? It's about being able to persist when things get tough and to bounce back from adversity. The goal here is 100% practical. Give soldiers the mental skills they need to face down unbelievable challenges, keep going, and recover.
All right, so we've looked at the science, and we've seen how it's applied in a really intense, real-world setting. So now, let's bring it all back home. Let's recap the key tools that you can start putting into your own personal toolkit literally today.
So, here are the 3 core tools. Number 1, the foundation. Actively work on adopting a growth mindset. Number 2, the tactics. Practice cognitive reappraisal to change how you see tough situations. And number 3, the fuel. Find out what your signature strengths are and then make a conscious effort to use them.
Now, these tools are simple to understand, but that doesn't mean they're easy. They definitely take practice, they take intention. But what they prove is that resilience isn't something you're just lucky to have. It's not a lottery ticket. It's a skill set that anyone can build. So I guess the only question left is, what's the first tool you're going to start using today?